4 of the top 5 countries with the highest number of COVID-19 cases are from the BRICS bloc. And although China is currently ranking at 31, that's where the pandemic started. So as a member of BRICS, are we in line to be one of the first countries to receive the vaccine should the World Health Organization approve it? As far as international relations is concerned, what does this mean? International relations expert Dr. Oscar van Heerden joins us now on Skype to unpack this. Dr. van Heerden, good evening and thank you for your time tonight. How important is it for Russia to cooperate with other nations, particularly BRICS partners, as they develop this vaccine?
I think it is very important because, you know, if you are in a partnership, those are the partners that you give first preference to. The reason why BRICS, you would recall, Thabo, has started in the first place is because they wanted to present a counterweight to Western hegemony. And so Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa decided to be part of a unique club and to do preferential treatment, not only on trade, but also on all other fronts, scientific endeavors and so forth. And so if indeed Russia has come up with a vaccine and it is verified by the World Health Organization, I do think that the first in line will obviously be its partners within the BRICS formation.
Now, championing the approach, as you're saying, of consultation and cooperation was re-emphasized at the meeting of the BRICS ministers in April, but it seems, as how things are playing out right now, this race to develop the vaccine is purely a race between the US and Russia, and those other guys have been left out.
Not so much, no. I wouldn't say it's a race between those two. I think everyone is racing for a vaccine. I think that China, you would recall that there is progress being made in Oxford in the United Kingdom. And Germany and France has also indicated that they are already in phase 3 trials with vaccines. So I think everyone is in a race because of the devastating effect of this pandemic and this crisis. So I don't think it's only between the US and Russia. Of course, the United States have got lots to say with this big claim that President Putin has now made, which is that they have actually got a vaccine. Although I have to say to the viewers that that has not been scientifically verified as yet.
Now, India, as you mentioned also, yes, has also 3 vaccine candidates. China also working on others, particularly within this BRICS group that has also been severely affected. How should BRICS partners view this, that even though they are all within the bloc and all of them have got candidates, but there is no cooperation at this point?
Yeah, that I think is the most unfortunate point. I mean, you would recall that I recently wrote an article on the BRICS formation, and I said, is it that it is falling apart brick by brick? And I was referring to precisely this kind of sentiment, which is that it seems even though you have these countries in a partnership, they are hardly talking to each other. In fact, China and India is in a border dispute, a conflict. Russia has its own problems, with Putin now having extended his presidency well into until 2036, it seems. And indeed, Brazil, Bolsonaro and Modi in India, completely mismanaging the COVID pandemic, which has resulted in large-scale deaths within their countries. And so the question becomes, Thabo, why are we still part of this grouping that clearly is not actually talking?
Does the question then extend to say, is it even possible for such groupings to have united effort behind each other without hidden agendas? Because every country has got a hidden agenda.
No, absolutely. I mean, there's always in international relations, all sovereign states serve their national interests. They want to improve their national interests and grow their economies and so forth, even though there has been a commitment from various quarters that it will be made available for free. I'm yet to see that, and whether people are not going to want to exploit the situation and make money from such vaccines. But having said that, Thabo, I do think that, you know, at the end of the day, everyone is talking of a post-COVID world. What is it that we are going to do differently? And for the BRICS formation, for the BRICS partners, I think they have to ask some serious questions with regards to cooperation, not only in terms of goods and services and trade, but also, in this case, around pandemics and the control of viruses and so forth.
Now, accusations have come from the UK, from Canada, around Russia and them trying to steal the coronavirus vaccine research. However, Brazil is the first to reach out to Russia to say, hey, we'll produce this thing. South Africa, we haven't got reaction so far. Should they be reacting and jumping on as well?
Well, look, I mean, as I say, this pandemic has really caused havoc globally. The Europeans, the Far East, Africa, and of course the Americas, all very negatively affected. So I'm sure everyone is desperate for a vaccine. And so if there is the slightest inkling that someone has made some advances towards a vaccine, I'm not surprised that countries like Brazil is jumping at that opportunity, because it is really causing devastation within Brazil, with thousands dying. Bolsonaro has really made fun and jokes about this virus, has even claimed that it is not as bad as we think, and for a long time refused to wear a mask. And he himself got infected, like Boris in the UK. And so I think their views changed after that. But if anyone needs a vaccine, Brazil is certainly first in the queue in terms of the devastation there.